Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Adora Uzoma. I'm a Nigerian based in London, Ontario, Canada. And every week I do share tips on how to come to Canada as a new immigrant and how to navigate life here. If you're new to this channel, thank you so much for tuning in. And if you're an oldie but a goodie, thank you so much for sticking around. Please, if you've not subscribed to this channel, what are you waiting for? Please do so. That way it helps us interact better. That way it helps this channel grow. And we can also build a strong community as well. Alrighty, so from the title of this video, we're going to be talking about ways on how to find accommodation in Canada as an international student. If this video is for you, please do stick around and I'll be right back. So one of the quickest ways to find accommodation is to just find out from your school. You can contact them, send an email, find out how much it costs. They usually have housing for students, internationals and locals. Find out and see how much they cost so that way when you're coming into Canada, it's going to be an easy transition for you. Keep in mind that it's very expensive compared to off-campus housing. So school housing is very expensive. That's something to keep in mind. So if you're someone who don't really mind, that's wonderful. The good thing I love about campuses in school is the proximity is just like right across school. I mean, you don't have to stress about entering the bus or driving or all that stuff in case of traffic or you're running for your lectures or you have presentations and stuff like that. So the proximity is very close. Most times it's just right across the university or even within the campus there. So that's one good thing to keep in mind, but it is expensive. So a second way to search for accommodation as an international student is to join Facebook groups. You don't necessarily have to be in Canada as well to do this. Even while you're preparing to come to Canada, you can just go on Facebook and search for, so let's say you're going to like Fanshawe College. I love to use Fanshawe College because that's where I studied. So let's say you're going to Fanshawe College, you just go on Facebook and just search for Fanshawe College off-campus housing or Western University off-campus housing. You will see tons of listings, you see tons of groups. So just join one of those groups and see, what they offer. Some landlords are usually very specific. Some roommates, some people who are also looking for like roommates to help split the bill are usually very specific. Okay, I'm looking for a Filipino roommate, who is neat, who is female or who is male. Some people are usually very specific as to who they want to stay with, right? So those are things to keep in mind. Some landlords, like I said, are usually very specific as well. Some will require like a proof of income, and keep in mind you're coming from a different country, so how do you prove income? Some landlords are usually very flexible. They know that Canada like takes in a lot of international students, so they're not really as keen as to your reference letter or your source of income, just so that they can be able to know if you're able to afford where you want to rent. I mean, if you're paying for tuition so high, I mean, why can't you, if I'm to think about it, you should be able to afford a place to stay. So those are the things to watch out for. Some landlords require like first and last month. You have to put like a security deposit in case something happens and you're leaving. If you just deposit like maybe 500 in case you like break the door or mess the whole place up. Please don't do that. That is not advisable. But they usually require security deposit just in case, some people who are not clean or they just damage one or two things, then they already have that money with them to help with those repairs. So keep that in mind when looking for off-campus housing. And I usually advise to find something that is usually close to school, so that way, like I mentioned in my last video, you're not worried about the commute time, because sometimes there can be traffic, sometimes something can happen, there may be a snowstorm, or anything can happen. So I usually don't advise to live where that is too far, so that you don't have issues looking for how to get to school, except you have a car or you have a reliable source of transportation, then that's fine. So yeah, so Facebook groups is another very quick way to search for accommodation before or after you arrive Canada. The third way to search for accommodation is to just search on Google, and other reputable websites as well. So if you just go on Google and just search for apartments near me, or student housing nearby, or depending on the city, or student housing in London, Ontario, in Toronto, in Scarborough, in Mississauga. So if you just go on Google and just search, you'll be able to see tons of listings. Please keep in mind that there are fraudulent listings out there, so you have to cross your T's and dot your I's before you go ahead to give someone money for any place to rent. I usually advise, if you're still in Nigeria, or if you're still in a different country and you're already interacting with a landlord, if you know someone in that city, you can just tell the person, please, can you go help check this place out for me? That way they will be able to give you details and tell you, I don't think this is a nice place. Sometimes they might just show a different picture online, and when you get there, it's a different scenario. So if you know someone that is already here, you can actually tell the person, please, can you go check this place out for me? And then they'll come back and give you the feedback and say, oh, I think it's a very good place for you to go. Or you know what, leave that out, let's look for somewhere else. So keep that in mind, that there are people who are scammers who will try to scam you. Personally, I like to go face to face to see what I'm dealing with before I go ahead to make any deposits. So make sure that the sites you're going to are very credible. Make sure the people you're interacting with are very credible. Any online transactions before you actually see the place is is it really worth it? Especially if the person is requesting that you put the money right now, or is very urgent. I understand that is sort of their source of income, but also ensure that you're dealing with the right people, you're doing things legitimately, so that you don't have a very bad experience, when transitioning to where you're going to stay. I'm going to put a link below that would act as a guide for everyone searching for accommodation before they come to Canada. That way your transition will be very smooth. So do let me know if you have suggestions that you want me to discuss, different topics. I'll be more than happy to do that. And yeah, so I hope this video was very informative. I hope you guys learned one or two things along the line. And make sure to subscribe. Make sure to share this video with your loved ones, with your friends, with your family. And I'll bring more content, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.